Hello, here it's Udayan again. Today we will look into a tutorial where we'll try to create dynamic skies over static images. This can also be extended to videos. The use of this technique is normally very extensive for replacing faded or skies where there is not too much color in there. When we are particularly using DV cameras, we cannot capture all the details in the sky because we need to focus on the subject which are of a darker tones at times or having shadow. So we normally use a higher exposure rate. The moment we use a little bit of higher exposure, immediately the sky completely fades away. Either it becomes total white or it loses a lot of detail. Now, this technique is extensively used in serials, cinemas, or many other video productions where we can replace those elements and put our own dynamic skies out there. So we will start with it. So we will start with the footages. To have this done, I will be using sky replacement footages. The footages are already there in your folder. So we will try to look into this image first. Generally, you will find this kind of a dialog box coming up, particularly when we are working with any TGA images or file sequences. TGA is a file format which can have or preserve the alpha channels or the transparency data along with the RGB data. So as a result of it is basically asking me what I need to do with the alpha channel. Should I ignore the alpha channel if it is there in the image altogether, or should I keep it separate, or should I multiply the alpha channel over the original RGB data? Accepted method is to keep it pre-multiplied and hit OK. So if you look at the details here, it tells me that it is a 720 by 486 pixels of image, which is very near to 720 by 480 pixels, which is the standard for National Television Standard Committee of US. So we will try to keep it as it is, and we will drag this and bring it down into the make comp icon. So I will make a comp which is exactly of the dimension and size of that of the image that we are working with. So we already have this. Okay, in here you might be seeing things which looks a little bit different. This is because I am using 4 views. After Effects, in its view option, it gives me a lot of views. For example, I can work with one view, which is the standard view, the way we see it. We can go for other views. When we are working with maybe 3D materials, I will try to show you all this. As of now, we don't need to really look into that. Okay, so this is my basic image where I can see the sky has first of all lot of grains in there. Normally in digital footages, you will find a lot of grains in the blue channel. So you can see here there is a huge number of grains. So what I will do is I will try to remove this entire sky from here, and I'll keep this background foreground, and then we will try to create a sky which is more realistic and which is showing me some kind of a movement. So going along with that, we already have, since we have created a comp from the image is already incorporated in here. So to begin with, what I will do is I'll make a copy of this one. Okay, the idea that we are doing is basically called the cleanup, or taking out unwanted materials from my footage or video. Starting with this image, I will be duplicating this image. So I will go press Ctrl D. After that, I will, for the time being, I will hide the first layer, and I'll start working with this particular layer, which is the bottom layer. First thing that I need to do is to take out this sky. So if we look in the blue channel, if you look at the blue channel, we will see that darker gray tone, this is lighter gray tone. So basically this kind of image which has a very distinct gray tone in any particular channel, we can make use of the Luma key to take out either the black portion or the white portion as we need. So in this case, we will take out the white portion. Going down to my RGB image first so that I can see the full image here. Then I will go to Effect and I will go to Keying and look for the Luma key, which is basically keying basically means striking out areas of image which I want or which I don't want, or separating foreground background basically. Okay, now here what I want is I want to strike out the brighter areas. Okay, so I will click this, then I don't see anything. It seems that everything has gone. It is more prominent if we click our transparency toggle. You see that there is nothing, only little bit of data is kept here, little bit of data is kept here. Now always when you key, it's a very important thing to do the keying in alpha channel, that is in the transparency option. You will see some like content is retained here. Now we will gradually push on the threshold till we can get maximum of the image data that I want. Okay, I am not much bothered about what is coming up here, because anyways we will be using mask technique to do that. But anyways, my only point is to restore as much of this horizon line we can, this tree we can. Okay, so pushing it up, I'll go down around 150 or something like that. This I found by experiment, because this image I am doing it for many times, so I know that around 150 it will work. So I have already restored most of the horizon line, but as you can see, these black spots means transparency. So you will see there is some holes in my black and white matte. This is also called matte holes. So I want to restore this entire area. So I will need to keep this, and I'll have to take out everything that is there. To take it out, the option is we will go for what is called garbage matting. How do I do it? Is very simple. We'll take a rectangle. I'm using this rectangular mask because it is pretty simple image. If you are having uneven kind of a shape where you cannot actually work with a rectangle, you can also use the pen tool to make a custom mask around it. But for this case, this will work perfectly. I don't need that big of a mask in this side, so I will just close it a little bit. Okay, in After Effects, always remember to work with masks and use only the required amount of size of mask, because After Effects treats mask also as layer. If you have a very big mask for a small image, it will affect your rendering time. Coming back to what I was saying, now once I have done this, I don't want this, I want this to go, but I want this, whatever was there in the background, to be retained. Now what exactly I am having right now is, it has taken out this, whatever is in the mask is visible. This is because the mask is in the add mode. What I want is the mask should subtract from the original image. So now what I am retaining is exactly the image or the horizon line that I want. Everything on top of it has gone, as we can see, but I want to get this data where this matte holes should go. Now here the problem is, if I create another mask, okay, try to retain this data, I create another mask, okay, I create say this mask, and I put this as add, it is not adding anything, because this mask is affecting on the basis of that mask. So first mask is subtracted, plus minus is minus, so even then when I have it in the add mode, it is still getting subtracted. If I put it over this one, then the problem is it is adding, okay, but at the same time this subtract is no longer working. So this making a mask in the same layer will not work. So always, that's why I have created another layer in the beginning. So I have this. Now we will be having whatever we want from this layer. So I just want this portion to be retained. If I keep this in the add mode, oh sorry, I didn't select the layer. I'm doing by Ctrl Z. Selecting this layer, I will simply restore this. Now I have taken too much. I will try to bring this one down just enough so that I can get rid of the matte holes. So this is matte hole, I'll keep somewhere here. So my matte hole is gone, and mostly what I have a perfect black and white mask. And this is very important step to extract background and foreground. So now when I go to the RGB mode, taking out of alpha to RGB mode, what I see is perfect background. Foreground is taken out and background is almost not there. Now the next problem that I will be having, and it's a common problem with all the masking out and keying or chroma we do, like we have a effect of the background. You can see it looks still a little bit of blue out here, some pinches of blue is still there. This is called color spill, or spill from the actual color or background color, which is which is one of the major problem with all digital videos. So to take care of this, After Effects provides us with the tool. So in this layer we applied Luma. In here only we will apply something called effect, keying, and something called spill suppressor. So it will take care of the spill color. The moment I apply, you can already see the blue colors have gone. Just check and you can see this was blue color and it has gone. Now if I really want to make it more accurate or more natural, I will pick some of the colors from here. Okay, but remember this is taking care out the original color. So we will try to click this and work with the tone of blue that is almost similar to what I originally had. Now if I am pushing it a little bit, I can see in one place it will become a little bit greenish in color. We will try to keep it that one so that it will look like the background itself. So now my bluish tone is gone. So what I have is perfect green tone all along. So our first job or first part of the job is done. We have already extracted the foreground out here. Now going down to the next, creating a sky. What I want is I want to create a sky tone which will look very much like the sky, like basically this image. Okay, hide like disabling the mask. If you don't want to, you want to keep the mask but just disable it, click here and click none. So for the time being this effect of mask will not be there. So what I want is to get the sky, but I don't want the cloud. So we will create a background layer with almost color like this of the sky. We will pick one color from there, one color from there, talking about ramp, and then we can proceed further. So to do this, what I will do, I will begin by using a layer and a new layer, new solid layer I will use. Layer, new and solid. And I'll keep it any color because anyways I'll be using some other tool to create the color. I'll keep it aside for the time being a little bit so that I can see this gradation. So now I will go down to effect, I'll go down to generate, I'll go down to ramp. Now in ramp, as I can see, I want this top portion or black portion to be more like blue. So I will pick this and I'll hit in the topmost corner, possible topmost corner, to get the bluest of the blue for this particular image. Okay, oh, I clicked in the gray area, that's why it is the problem. So we'll keep it somewhere here. You can register and see which color you are picking up here. So if I am somewhere here, I can see blue, 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 but if I go there, it is black, gray. So I will keep this blue. So I already got this blue up here. And what I want is this side should be very white, should be corresponding to something of this color. Okay, so we'll click up here and again go down and look for some white color up here so that we can get almost a natural looking gradient up here, and then we will bring it down somewhere here and try to match it as much as possible. So I can see the blue is coming up pretty much nice. We'll bring the blue till maybe here. Okay, and the white we can push it a little bit so that the white, our job is to make sure that this can be blended as much as possible. Still going back so that the blue almost blends, and this is what the original color of the sky was, like that. So we'll keep this up here, and now we will take it into a new precomposition. Now I'm finding it difficult to exactly adjust it, isn't it? So what I will do is I'll click right click here, I'll go to transform and I'll hit fit to comp. So it will automatically fit it back to the composition. After that I will go down to layer up here and I will go down below and say precompose. When we are having this precomposition, you will see it is saying leave all attributes in BG sky. That means in this composition. No, we want to take this effect along with this one. So we'll click move all attributes into the new composition. So we'll create a new composition and we will take these effects along with that. So hit OK. So now you can see here I don't have any effect up here, but when I double click and open this composition, this has come up here. Okay, now having the sky already there, so we'll click it like this, or we can also keep that one. It's not much of a problem. In here we will apply a layer effect, and we will go down to noise and grains and apply fractal noise. Okay, immediately don't get startled, the color is not gone, it is there. We can get back this color whenever we want by changing this blending mode to add. We can still have our background layer working there, but before doing that we will be fixing the look of the cloud. So first thing is first, we will try to work with the fractal noise and we will push this contrast to a higher value, and we will make this much smaller so that it looks like a cloud, and our original cloud is very little in the image, as we can see. Going down up here, and hiding this, you will see the patches are very small, they are not very big. So we'll try to match it up to certain extent like this as much as we can. So my cloud patches are very big, so I need to work with the transformation and make my scale go down. Okay, and another thing we see here is that cloud are longer, like elongated, they are more longer in the horizontal side, and their height is less. So we'll try to replicate this. In here we go down to scale and we will uncheck uniform scale. So now I can make change my width and height separately. Okay, going back to my width, I will make the width like this, but height I will reduce a lot, something like this. Okay, and width also I will reduce because clouds need not be that big. Okay, something like this, it looks fine. Okay, up here when I work, another thing is that these cloud patches at times are too much and they need to somehow change. Okay, so we will give it a slight movement on the left to right or back to front. It is up to you how you want to view your clouds. So I will try to do from here towards, because it is elongated, I'll try to make the cloud go from left to right in due time. This we can do by changing the offset turbulence. So in the beginning, I'll keep the offset turbulence somewhere. So I'll start animating this by clicking the stopwatch. And this is the offset turbulence center. I'll pull it somewhere here. Okay. It's up to you how much you want. I have a 10-second clip, so I can keep it up here. You can make it big or small. This does not really matter. And I will, at the end, I will push it somewhere here. It's not necessary that you need to be very accurate because it is anyways a turbulence, so it doesn't really matter much. So now what happens is the cloud seems to go. Now the problem, if you look in the nature, you will find that clouds never remain in the same shape. They tend to change when we are talking about some kind of time lapse and all. So to have this happening, I will also animate the evolution. So in the beginning, I may be having evolution as 0, and then by the end I want evolution to happen maybe 1 or 2, 10 seconds maybe. Let's try with 2 and see how it looks. If we don't like, we will bring it down to 1. Now I'll play back it once and just try to see. So we are going for the RAM preview. It looks pretty okay, but the clouds generation, I can change a few of the things out here to make it more realistic and more scratchy. So what I will do is we'll go down to this evolution options and work out here. So there is an option called cycle evolution. So it will tell me how many revolutions it should go in time. Okay, so it's right now going 1 cycle, so we can make it 2 or 3 cycles. So there will be more complicacy added to the evolution process. See, so it is like just making the evolution go a bit faster. Okay, then you can give some random seeds at times. So this will also change it. So it will, random seed means how it should begin. So randomly it will be doing 10 seeds. So let's see how it looks. It looks fine, but still I'm not happy with the look of the clouds. I will like to make it a little bit stretchy. Okay, so here we are changing it from basic to maybe dynamic. Okay, so they look more like the clouds now. And I will make this from soft linear to spline, so they will look more like the punches of clouds, the real clouds that we have up here, round look. And with this, let's try. Okay, I feel now it is going for too much of evolution, so we will try to reduce the limit of evolution. It is going too much, so I'll maybe go for a little bit of evolution, because too much evolution will make it very unrealistic. I'll give it maybe half a rotation, so by the end I'll make it 180. You remember we have already set it for keyframing, so it is already being keyframed up here. And let's quickly see now how it looks. It should be more subtle, it should not be very strong. Now this clouds looks much better than what we have before. And we can also make the clouds appear smaller in size, that we can work by changing this brightness. The more darker we make it, less cloud will be visible. Okay, so this will be more subtle. Only few patches of clouds will be there, like the original image had 2-3 patches of clouds, not much, because it was pretty much a clear sky. So we will also try to recreate something like this. Okay, so this looks pretty fine, and we will proceed further with our work. So now the next thing is to get back our color. So we'll go to blending mode and put it to, you can put it to screen, which will be like this, or you can also put it to add. Now add will make it look very bright. I don't want to add because normally clouds do not add luminosity. So we will use maybe either overlay, which is much darker. I think screen would be the best option. We'll go for the screen. So we will keep our original image is something like this. So now we are going to the blending mode and we will hit up the screen. So we have just subtle clouds out here. Going back to, this is our all cloud composition ready. Now we go down to the original layer, and we will also use our background and white sky, everything up here that we had earlier. Okay, so now what we have is, remember the mask, we have shut it down. So we will put on the mask back again in the add mode. And this one we want to make it the background, so we'll pull it down behind everything. So we already have the sky up here. And now we will make this layer into 3D. Once we are making it into 3D, why we are making it into 3D? Because normally things which are in 3D or in real speed, you will see clouds in front will appear to move faster, clouds in the background should move slower. So we'll try to recreate the same thing. What we will do is we will try to rotate the x-axis over here. So press R, find the rotation, and we will try to rotate the x-axis to the level where it is almost touching the background and the foreground. Okay, don't make it too much, just make it as much as required. Now we will keep it exactly in the middle somewhere. Okay, and then we will pull it down so that it is matching up with the thing. We'll pull it down a little bit. Again, we will make it a little bit bigger. The composition behind it, we will try to pull it a little bit, make it a little bit smaller, and now I think we are almost in the position. Okay, so we'll pull it a little bit more, a pinch more, not much, and we will pull it down back again. So our job is to cover up the horizon, and we are getting the horizon done. Now we will pull it on either side so that it covers up the background. Fine. So now what we have is, we have clouds in front will be appearing big and it will look more realistic. Let's quickly play and see. So let it render for some time and let's see how it looks. Okay, it looks fine, but there is a small catch. If there are clouds in sky, it's a daytime, then it should also have corresponding shadow on the ground. Now we will try to create the shadow of the cloud. So we will duplicate this layer, going down to edit, and we will duplicate this layer, or we can press Ctrl D, of course, and we will rotate it in the other way around. First of all, I will pull it up above everything. Okay, and then we will rotate it back. Now here there is a small catch, it is having very sharp edge out here. So what we will do, we will make it a little bit bigger than what we require, a little bit, a notch bigger, not much. Okay, and we will hit up this rectangular tool to create a mask on this. So double click and you will get a mask. After you get a mask, what you do, you press F or go down to the mask feather. Once we have this mask feather, we will try to increase the feather till this horizon line is blending up. You can see this is pretty much blending up. We'll make it a little bit more so that it is blending up and the horizon line is almost invisible. Okay, so we'll keep it something like this. Okay, after that what we will do is, we will try to replicate this entire layer and we will try to turn it over. So going down here, pressing rotation, try to rotate the X in the other way around, so something like this. Okay, and try to make sure that it is lining up with the ground. So we'll pull it down and try to line up with the ground. Don't worry if you are not finding it very accurate, because those things we can take care later, absolutely not a problem. We'll try to make it a little bit bigger this side, a little bit bigger this side. Okay, also we will try to push it a little bit up or down so that our exact point of horizon is not very much visible. And of course this is too big, so we'll have to shrink it down. So I'll click it somewhere else, and then I get this option, so I can push it back, and we will try to adjust it. Here what we are doing was we are working with the cloud map. We'll try to push it back again, and our cloud map is pretty much fitted up here. You can see these three are there. Okay, this is my map, and I will try to work with this. Now this problem with the map, a little bit problem is the mask is too big, so we'll try to take the mask out. We can see more and more of the mask is visible, but what we need is to shrink it down, isn't it? So we will try to rotate it a little bit more and try to fit it in to this particular area of our ground. Okay, now it is fine. We will just rotate it a notch. It's getting too much, a little bit. Maybe this is fine. This is absolutely fine. We will try to keep it up here. Okay, and then rest of the thing is very simple. We will simply go down into the blending mode options, and we will click here for the subtract. Okay, now this effect is happening because it has a color directly over this one. So this we can actually take care by making a small change in the way we have made this white composition. In place of doing it on a colored background, we can keep this. We will duplicate this so that I need the transition be there. In the bottom one, I will take out fractal noise. Okay, and the top one I will take out ramp. Fine, and then in this one, so basically I have a fractal noise created on the top of it, and the screen mode we will change it to none. Okay, once we have this up here, this blending mode we will change it from here to maybe screen. We are getting effectively the same thing, but we have two layers now. The reason why I did it, this is the layer that I want to use, so I will cut this layer from here, and we will bring it back and put it behind our original composition, and we will put it somewhere here. Edit, and we'll hit paste and drag it down behind everything. Right now I can't see. I will have to make this layer, and again like before, going down to the screen mode. So I have the sky also, but this time the sky is more vibrant, and this one we will only have the shadow, as you can see, of the clouds, and they will be in sync with the options that we have up here. Okay. Now the trick here, they look very dark. If you can see, they look very dark. We don't need that much dark, so we will make use of the transparency options by pressing T, and we'll bring it down to maybe 10 or 9. That should be fine. It should be very subtle. So once you play back, just cross check that you have the feeling of the clouds. Yeah, I can have a little bit, or maybe a little bit. It is up to your choice how you want to use. Don't make it too dark. It doesn't look good. I hope this is fine, and I can feel that the clouds are moving up here. And we can click somewhere else to check our composition, how it looks. By pressing middle mouse button, you can always drag it around, and now I want to see the whole thing, so I press the tilde key, and I can also increase it a little bit so that I can see the whole composition up here. So a little bit book. And now by pressing spacebar, I can play it back and see how it looks. I have to check two things, the top layer and the corresponding shadows of the clouds, they should all be in sync. So by this technique, we can actually make use of different ways or different methods to get this thing done, and I think this looks fine. So this is our small tutorial which tells us about how to work with, or how to replace our with this we come to the end of this particular tutorial of dynamic sky. Meet you in the next tutorial. Have fun with After Effects.